What is a Resynced? Well, at first I thought Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced was going to feel more like a high-level remaster, but after getting direct hands-on to test out its gameplay changes and somehow getting hidden bladed all the way across the room by Matt Ryan, gotta say this falls more in line with a full remake. The main story remains mostly the same, but the base game's old skeleton bones have been ground down into dust and reanimated with complete reworks to combat, parkour, animations, textures, the weather system, and lighting engine, along with getting more detailed handcrafted islands out there to explore, and multiple new story arcs to seek out. With these massive overhauls, Resynced plays like an entirely new game, to the point of dipping its boots confidently close to being Black Flag 2. Almost. So, from my time with Resynced, here are just some of the big changes and tiny details I noticed. Naval combat has been improved over the 2013 original with some added depth. Over on the bottom left, you now have this menu where you can easily tell which ammo type is currently loaded into each position, and there's an input to quick swap to alternate shot types for each one. The heated shot was my personal favorite since this adds a new tactical layer to the game's cannon. Heated shot will fire a continual barrage, which can be manually adjusted as those fire-imbued metal balls scream through the air. That lets you move the aiming reticule around during the barrage, allowing for fine-tuned adjustments to their mid-flight trajectory, or you can use this to paint the target hitting multiple areas of the ship. You can also now recruit new specialist officer characters, and each will give you a unique ship perk. Like, do the quest to recruit Lucy, and she teaches you the ability to perfect brace to improve your defense, which is pretty much a perfect time guard as a boat. In the original Black Flag, you could bring up this simple interface to start or stop those glorious sea shanties your crew would sing. Now in Resynced, this has taken a step even further. You can hold D-pad up to access this new menu, which lets you see a full list of your unlocked shanties and command your crew to sing the exact one that you want.
Sing a new song.
Another quality of life addition is that you can now quickly pass the time. On solid ground and out of conflict, you can hold D-pad down to force Edward to stoically sit and do absolutely nothing for hours on end so you can enjoy an adjustment to the time of day. In the old version of Black Flag, there was no built-in way to quickly go from day to night or night to day. The new lighting system looks really nice in the sunlight, so I'll definitely use this function quite often to switch. Unequipped ship combat has gotten an entire overhaul too, functioning almost nothing like the original 2013 version. Back then, for example, the melee combat doesn't even allow me to swing at nothingness to show you its moveset, since the combat had a semi-automated suck you over into enemies rhythmic feel. Although this created some really fluid animations for the time, the old combat could be pretty quickly solved with a parry-attack playstyle. In Resynced, this new combat system is more directly influenced by the player and technically deeper, which is needed since enemies will now dynamically adapt to your spammed behaviors, forcing you to use a variety of attack options. Down on the bottom right are these new attack commands you can quick access by holding right trigger. You have a trip, a kick, the rope dart, and your pistols. The trip can be used to knock down enemies as long as they don't block or evade it, which sets them up for a takedown. The kick is used as a knockback, and if you kick enemies into things like a wall or something, it'll easily break their stance, which can be chained into a takedown. Back in the original Black Flag, you could only dive deep under the water at the scripted diving bell locations, or do this like 2 feet under the water stealth swim in the open ocean. Now though, it seems like you can just dive anywhere in the open ocean that you want and swim around underwater. There's new details and living creatures down there, and you can even go entirely underneath your ship now to get a view of its underbelly. Directly compared to 2013, all you would do is kind of just bash into the side of the ship. But now the Jackdaw feels more like a real, tangible, full thing that exists in the world. In the OG Black Flag, enemies would drop their weapons and you could pick those up and use them as a temporary weapon. You couldn't keep it forever and you would easily drop it, but it was a thing you could do. In Resynced, this enemy dropped weapon concept is entirely replaced by being able to permanently equip different weapon classes to your character. Like in this build, I had access to the cutlass and the rapier. These modify your entire moveset, and a new mechanic, your heavy attack, done by holding the input. The Rapier's heavy attack will do this poke into poke combo, whereas the Cutlass will do a wider double slash maneuver. These slower but harder hitting attacks will be generally better at breaking through enemy defenses. A new function that's useful for general exploration, you can now hold left trigger on foot to enter this focused view that can be used to locate and highlight lootable containers near you. Useful when trying to 100% all the chicken nuggets on a given island. This focused look around can also be done while diving underwater, and in the deeper diving bell areas, this is helpful for spotting hidden booties in shipwreckage. In 2013, your ship's swivel cannon acted more like a quick-time event, just having to hold down one button while it auto-targeted and shot a weak spot. Now you have to manually aim that swivel cannon, but it's overall better since you can rapidly hit multiple exposed weak points back to back by simply moving the crosshair over them. Kinda like having a machine gunner at the ready, the new swivel cannon can easily detonate multiple explosives in the water and exploit all those weakened sections on adversarial ships. In the original Black Flag, the direction of the wind was shown on the minimap by a line that passed through your ship with an arrow, changing from red, which was against the wind, into yellow, then green, indicating that you had the faster winds to your sails. Now with the new weather system, wind feels more like a tangible living thing, since you have to physically look out for the actual gusts of wind to know its direction. Like here, you can see the wind moving right to left across my sails, revealing which direction it currently wafts. Also, something to note, the entire minimap from before is gone, making the interface cleaner for more cinematic exploration. You do have a compass though at the top of the screen that indicates nearby points of interest. In 2013, there was no dedicated dodge button. Your counter would just dynamically change to a dodge when fighting some larger, slower enemies. In Resynced, you now have a separate dodge button that you can tap for a quick evade or double tap for a slower but further traveling dodge roll. There's also a sweet spot for perfect dodges, which will do a brief slow-mo when done with correct timing. That finisher animation was totally unnecessary, which makes it perfectly necessary. Gunner's shots can be perfect dodged as well, because in the original, there's not much you could do to directly avoid those incoming shots, other than hope someone is near you to do that human shield thing. This makes a reappearance in Resynced with a prompt to snuggle up to an enemy to heroically take a bullet for you. Here's what the map screen looked like in the old version of Black Flag. It's alright. Now though, the map has been entirely revamped. It's cleaner, less teal, and comes with some nice quality of life features for completionists. You can now bring up this list of nearby activities and points of interest to auto-locate exactly where they are on the map, instead of having to manually pan the map around to see what you've explored and what you've missed. There's an uncountable amount of tiny details added to almost every area of the game. Some are included to make the world feel more alive. Like in 2013, turtles were turtles. You couldn't really interact with them. But now turtles benefit from a big budget boost, and you can even feed the sea turtles. In 2013, little crabs would scutter around on the beaches and kind of just ghost straight down into the sand when scared away. In Resynced, crabs are more crab, not only looking much better, but someone went above and beyond with the burrow animation. If you look real close, they leave these tiny dimples of sand, and you can see the wet sand underneath slowly soak up and fill that hole back in, then dry. Give the crab team a raise. In the original, you had this pop-up menu to toggle between your gadgets and weapons. Now we have this brand new menu at the bottom left that lets you quickly toggle to the aim mode of your pistols, a manually aimed rope dart, aim a smoke bomb, which in the old version you could only toss down at your feet, or aim the blowpipe, which has alternate ammo types. The rope dart has a few extra uses, like it can be used to destroy objects or even those alarm bells that enemies will try to trigger. In combat, if an enemy is set up for the takedown prompt, you can actually pull them over with that rope dart and chain right into that animation. Like I said before, the new combat system is deeper overall, with more ways to kind of mess with your enemies. I'll definitely dig deeper into this kind of stuff when I get the launch build at home. A brand new character upgrade in Resynced are Trinkets. These can be equipped to you to gain new passive buffs. Trinkets can even be physically seen dangling off the back of your Edward. If you like the effect of one but don't like its cosmetic skin, you can change the visualization of the trinket to take on the appearance of any other that you have, or you could hide each trinket individually if you don't want these dangling off of your Edward. In the original game, you couldn't manually enter a crouched sneak. Only tall grass would kind of trigger stealth movement. In Resynced, there is now an input to enter a crouched sneak mode whenever you want. So adopting a dedicated stealth playstyle is more viable now. But for me, stealth means take one person down then fight the entire rest of everyone else at once. In the old version, reloading your pistols felt like it took like 1700 years to do, which made it almost useless to try and reload in active combat. However, now the pistol reload animation has been decently sped up and the animation has been improved. This makes it much easier to actually squeeze in a full reload to reuse those pistols in combat. You cannot do a 2026 Assassin's Creed video without talking about hoods. In the original, Edward would automatically put his hood up when entering a hostile area, then remove the hood automatically when he's back in a safe zone. Now you just hold D-pad up to manually raise or lower your roof whenever you want, like an Edward convertible. Your hair even kind of like sproops back out from being tucked down into the hood. As long as it's not a cutscene, you can actually adjust your hood during dialogue moments, even when Edward is actively speaking. Back in 2013, the menus to change up your equipped weapons, craft upgrades, and see modifications to your ship was fairly basic in design. The menus in Resynced have been redone from the ground up, feeding you more information in a more effective manner. This makes upgrades for your ship easier to decide between and give you a better one-to-one look at cosmetic changes being made. When selecting your equipped weapons, you can also change their visualization, letting you slap one skin of one that you might prefer over the stats of another. Essentially every menu has been redone, like the spyglass and how it displays information. Now it has more of a spyglassy look instead of just darkened circles around the edges, and the visuals for identifying enemy ships is cleaner, listing their level, faction, carried loot, and current distance from you. In 2013, looting enemy bodies was another thing that felt like it took like 1700 years to do, having to fully stop and hold a prompt each time. In Resynced, you can loot bodies instantly. All you do is tap a button and yoink all the stuff while staying on the move. In the old version, you could pick up and carry bodies, but only then drop them back down at your feet. Now you can pick up bodies and manually throw them wherever you want. And one of the last details I noticed during my session was some of the changes to dynamic weather. Like here, just standing around doing nothing, you can see how the wind will dynamically pick up and slow down, which even influences individual sections of cloth on Edward's outfit. From what you've seen so far though, what are your raw thoughts on Black Flag Resynced? For you, does it check all the boxes to count as full remake? Put it down in the comments. Also, let me know if you played the original Black Flag back in the day, or if you just plan to go in brand new with Resynced. If you're still hungry for more Resynced gameplay from this event though, there are a few other creators I just met for the first time there that I recommend that you go check out. GJX Gaming Arcade, Liz XP, Bubba Green 2, and It's Java Chip. All of them were super nice, super cool in person, so go give them a look to see their hands-on with Black Flag Resynced. Alright, now I gotta give a big shout out to Ubisoft for taking me out to this event to test the stuff out directly. I even wandered into a big circle of Ubisoft employees at this event and took the opportunity to once and for all ask, is the correct way to say it Ubisoft or Ubisoft? And I got full confirmation. It actually stands for Ubiquitous Software, so it's pronounced Ubisoft, ubiquitous. Some of their employees just learned that fact in that very moment, so there you go. If you want more on Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced from me though, maybe stick around on the channel because I'll probably be going deeper in with it in the future. Okay, that's about it. Thanks for watching the entire thing I made for you today. I'm Alex, and I'll see you soon in the next one.